There is a fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call
the Tweaker Pad.
Quiet, please. No need to shout. No need to yell. No need to have a riot. Shut your eyes. Take a deep breath. Oh, you've gone quiet.
They are extremely meticulous and can be easily identified by a headlamp or flashlight, which is inclusive to the tweaker culture. They can usually be found in the company of
Shadow Wolf.
You're in campo! Good enough!
I'm gonna jump right into it. You going? Okay.
Yeah.
It's going. Hello, and welcome to Ramblings at the Tweaker Pad. Today is going to be one of the most relaxed episodes of Ramblings at the Tweaker Pad ever, because we are actually at the Tweaker Palace. And at my grandma's house.
Your grandma.
Cozy. Fake fire. So safe.
Real heat.
Real heat, fake fire. I'm joined by my friend Catherine. Super new to the show.
No, never been here before.
Never been.
It's really a real nice place you got here.
Thank you. So good. I moved. We're still gonna do episodes at the Tweaker Pad in the treehouse, but today the theme is gonna be about sexuality, divine feminine energy. We're kind of using that as a bit of a skeleton, and we'll let the conversation roll from there. Because feminine energy is creative and chaotic, so I'm leaving it up in the air. And, yeah, thanks for joining us, and I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Like, share, subscribe, comment.
To claim.
Comment to claim. Money coming your way, 1111. Okay.
Now they have to.
Now they have to.
Yeah.
Or else.
It's in the Bible.
It's in the Bible. Where in the Bible does it say you have to drive a man to work? Alright.
You have to let a man drive you to work in your car and then take your car.
Yeah. Where in the Bible? I don't say that in the Bible, that's why. Alright, so I'm a little nervous to get into the topic because it's going to be a bit controversial. But
That's so new.
It's so new. I'm like, oh, my show is just so conventional. I'm always people-pleasing on it.
The most controversial
episode yet. The other one's like, Hillary Clinton is eating children.
She goes.
Possibly. Catherine, when I say the word feminine, what comes to mind?
My mom.
Yeah. What are the qualities about her that come to mind?
My mom, she's caring, she's nurturing.
Yeah.
She always says that she raised me with love because she did.
Yeah.
She was the one person I could turn to always be kind.
Mm.
I mean, she was disciplinary, but in the right ways.
Yeah.
I felt safe with her. Femininity is very safe.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I see.
Yeah.
Just filling a home with love.
Mm. It's a presence.
Yeah.
Okay, a way of being. When I met your mom, it's funny because you've been like, oh, she's goofy, but when I met her, I was like, this is the most graceful woman I've ever met. Because she was being a woman.
Yeah.
She wasn't trying to be a man. The way I feel I always am. Mm-hmm. I feel like as a coping mechanism, I'm always stepping into the masculine. And so I was like...
What was that?
I'm always trying to be a man. I'm like, very manly things. Just manly things. So, when I think of femininity, it's honestly hard for me to conjure up something that isn't like a stereotype.
Yeah.
Like pink or small or I have very like childlike boxed interpretations of femininity.
That
like
makes sense.
I have to go online and research things like compassionate, nurturing,
Like, what does it mean to be a woman?
Yeah,
Yeah.
devoted to love.
Yeah.
Unconditionally loving. You know, things like that. And this is something I had told a friend. When it comes, because we're going to talk about male and female dynamics from our perspective, what we've learned, what we've seen, and then what us women are doing as a collective gaslight. We are collectively gaslighting ourselves and other people, and we are shooting ourselves in the foot. And so let me just before I go into this little anecdote, this little story, I just want to say, when we start talking about these things, I'm going to intentionally try not to put shame on them, because these types of things come with so much shame, and I have a shadow, and I have an ego, and I'm a person, and so I'm also always climbing for superiority, and so if I ever come off as like, you're below me, I apologize for that in advance, because what I really want to do is to convey that this other perspective that we're looking at things from is a much safer place to be. I feel much safer in this perspective of truth, I would say, than I did in this gaslight. And this is going to have to do a lot with fashion. So buckle up, because you're going to get a little bit offended.
Come with us, it's better up here.
We can take you safe.
This is something Catherine and I do when we see pets, and we've now extended it to old people, old women that we see.
Oh, you're coming on with me.
Oh, you're coming on with me. Where was I going? Oh, okay, so I told this friend, she was going deep and getting emotional and telling me, you know, I loved him, I gave him everything, and he walked away, and he was like, I didn't matter, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, and you know what? I never made him pay for anything. I never made him do this or that. Like, essentially, like, I was doing all the right things. And I told her, you have to let men invest in you. Yeah. Because a man investing in you is a choice. You nurturing is not a choice. And this is what is so fucked up that feminism doesn't include. I feel like feminism leaves out so much about femininity, is that we are... How do I say this? Because none of what I'm about to say is condescending. It's with the utmost respect. We are highly intuitive, and we are connected to the earth and to nature.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's pretty
Mother
obvious.
Nature.
The moon controls when we bleed from our bodies. Like, we're magical creatures, but we are creatures of nature. We are driven by our instincts, and we have an instinct to nurture the things that we are loving towards, or the things that we love and the things that we're connected to. So if you have sex with a man, your body releases oxytocin.
Yeah.
That's you. That's an extension of you, and you are going to treat it unconditionally loving. You're going to nurture him. It's not a choice. A man makes a choice to invest in you. A man makes a choice to provide space for you. If you don't let him make those choices, congratulations, now you're being the mother. I've been there a lot. And I've been a bad mom to my boyfriend.
It's hard not to go into the mother role, too. It's really hard.
It's the only one thing that we have that is an instinct when you don't know what to do, and you're going, why won't my relationship work?
Yeah.
Guess I'll just be your mom until you love me.
And then you get mad because you're being their mom.
Yeah, and then you don't respect them.
Yep.
And then they don't feel respected, so they don't try, so you hold on tighter and they stop trying.
It also turns into being disrespectful towards you because you don't respect them anymore, so it's mutual.
You're not positively respecting them, so they are going to negatively disrespect you.
Yeah.
To, like, make you feel like the same level of hurt they're feeling.
Yeah.
To their ego or something.
And it's not even conscious a lot of the time either.
None of this is conscious. This is the whole problem. Everything I've done sleepwalking.
They're not making the choice of being like, oh, she's not respecting me. Mm-hmm. And the role that they do not know.
Yeah. Everything's a defense coping mechanism. So, we've got this out, kind of jibble jabble. What I really want to talk about is the idea of sexy and sexuality. And so I have a few things written down to kind of help me, because like I said, we're not coming into this with much of a plan. I just had some thoughts the other night, thinking back on, well, I've really been on the internet a lot more lately, And there is such a push to be sexy. And not to be beautiful or to have sexual power, but to be sexy in a way that is sexy to men.
Yeah.
And this is my point. This is the thing that I was saying was going to trigger you guys. There is this whole narrative right now with women and young women and girls dressing in a sexually provocative way, saying, I am not dressing like this for you, I am dressing like this for me. And I call bullshit. I call bullshit and I love you.
It's for the best.
Any thoughts before I proceed? Yeah, I'm just gonna read some of the things that I wrote. My little book. So, I don't think it's hard for me to say I believe in anything because I'm constantly met with new information and new things that change my perspective. But from the way I see it right now, there's no such thing as coincidence. And there's normally a deep reason behind something when you look at it. So to me, I don't think it's a coincidence that when girls are dressing in this certain way, and I'm not talking about any way that you dress, that you say this is for me, isn't for you. There's a specific way that I'm talking about that is literally
Tailored to the male gaze.
Tailored to the male gaze. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't think it's a coincidence that when you're dressing in a way that is specifically what makes men horny, that you're saying none of this is for you. Because those aren't actually the things that make women feel good.
Even when
or
I
good
was
about
doing
themselves. Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, this is for me, blah, blah, blah. I feel good about myself.
Yeah.
But deep down, I knew when I walked out like that, I was going to get attention.
Yeah.
I was going to get looked at by men.
Yeah. I was the same way. I went through a period of my life, and I've always been really modest because I have a hot mom with a good body.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the way that she was treated because of that. Yeah. Which is a type of attention that a lot of people are like scratching and clawing to have, and I would say it's not worth it.
It's low
not,
energy attention.
It's low energy, and it's like it's such a feeling in my body. It's hard to express, but seeing your mother treated like a slab of meat, like a product. Mm-hmm. Really hurts because when you're a child you look at your parents as divinity and as perfection, and to see them not only tailor their look to appease this, but to be looked at like, I don't even know how to explain it.
An object,
and we're objectifying ourselves. And so there were times, I mean, as close as I would get to it was like the no bra and a crop top type of look. And I would tell you that those were the moments in my life that I felt the most insecure and that I was the most hungry for validation. That's a personal anecdote, but I think that if we were to reach inside of ourselves as women, we would think that that's probably how a lot of us feel. A lot of people don't have a negative attachment to their body or to their sexuality, and they may feel fine being showing skin, right? Yeah. But there's a certain way of dressing that's not just showing skin, it's literally like the whole look, you know, dolling yourself up and showing skin and having a push-up bra and a mini skirt and...
Or wearing a bikini top as a shirt.
To like a college class, and then going, maybe you should control the boys from looking.
Yeah.
So as much as it's our instinct to nurture people, it's their instinct to want to love on you and fuck you.
I want to bring up school dress codes real quick for a second, because that made me think of that. It's not the whole... Because I was just thought of the control the men not to look at you. There's a difference between the school dress code, which I do think is a little strict, with the... Oh, your shoulder is going to distract them.
Yeah, well, I don't feel like that's actually real. I think that's just a meme on the internet.
They've said that.
Oh, really?
Like, your shoulders can't be showing and stuff like... In Christian schools, private schools, things like that.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
So that's not what we're saying.
No.
We're saying the extreme where, you know...
Yeah.
You hardly have any. And now there's this whole mini bikini thing that is coming into light where it literally only covers their nipples.
Yeah. And I want to say there's nothing, like, women's bodies are innocent and they are beautiful.
Yeah.
And there's nothing sinful about your body, but there are things you can do to invoke pornographic imagery with fashion, because fashion is a communication of how you want to be treated and what your role is. And wearing things that have a pornographic connotation to them is going to make people see you in that way, and then you're gaslighting, saying, I don't want to be seen in this way. If you didn't want to be seen in that way, we all understand symbolism on a fundamental level. The way that you really want to be seen, you would dress as. And you'd probably be more comfortable with it. Probably feel more comfortable. So, let me read a couple of things that I wrote. Anyways, yeah, so dressing as a perverted male fantasy and then saying, this is for me, is bullshit.
Yeah.
This is for me to feel good. Well, let's dive deeper into that then. Why does it make you feel good? The validation makes you feel good, not the outfit. You're not coming from that from an empowered place. You're still asking, I wouldn't even say a man, I would say a very low vibrational lizard brain state of male instinct to validate you, and I think that we can work on our self-worth and say that we deserve better than that. And, it's not my business to tell anyone how to dress. I'm just saying, how fucking attractive your body is your business. And it's also kind of disrespectful to other people. We want to talk about consent culture. Everyone is so concerned with consent. But what about, other people didn't consent to seeing your body sexually objectified?
Yeah.
When I go out on the street, when you go to the beach, everyone's consenting in that shared social space to see people showing skin and wearing bikinis. And then there's different social norms. And the social norms are kind of a fluid social contract. In a college classroom, I did not consent to seeing you not wear a bra and just wear a fishnet top where I can literally see your breasts.
Yeah.
And have your ass cheeks hanging out. I didn't consent to that. It's triggering for me. It's, of course, triggering for men. Of course it's distracting. You put that together with the imagery of the male fantasy.
Yeah.
And so many men are, I feel like I'm going all over the place. I feel so unorganized. I'm going to stop talking to the camera. I think I need to talk to you. Pull me back in.
Okay. So we're talking. I got a little.
Yeah, I'm getting over
You're talking about the male consent.
Consent.
You did not consent.
Yeah. I'm not consenting to seeing someone like that.
And also,
it is sexual.
They're so concerned with people's triggers. They're so concerned with all of this.
Yeah.
And
about
for
people who
you,
have sexual trauma.
Sexual trauma, and your trigger is kind of seeing girls wanting to be objectified like that because of having a hot mom.
Yeah, the position that puts you in.
It brings you back to that childhood self of not wanting people to look at your mom like that.
Yeah.
And when you see a girl walking around and she's sleepwalking, it's hard.
I want to tell you what I'm feeling right now. The response from other people is going to be like, well, you're just insecure, or you feel like you can't compete, yada yada yada. We're trying to come at this from a perspective of we're done competing.
Yeah.
This isn't a competition. This is nothing but love to
we're
say,
not playing the game.
You will feel better, we feel better.
Mm-hmm.
This is two girls who are worried about other girls who fucking love girls, who are tired of men stuck in the Peter Pan stage of life being handed things that are actually self-destructive to both parties. And so let me just read some things out and then we can go from there. Okay. I'll read this, we could cut it out and then expand off of it, or we'll use it as a part of it. But as I attained self-love, I learned that my body is my business. And fashion is a communication with society as to what role you're playing. So dressing as a hooker and then telling people you're playing the role of a powerful woman is a gaslight, and I don't trust you. Fashion is here to show people how to treat you. Everything in society is here to show people how to treat you. You have any thoughts on that?
Let me think, I'm sorry.
No, take your time. We can take, this is a conversation.
Okay.
Take as much time as you need.
Mm-hmm.
Because I also edit these, so there's no rush.
When you talk about dressing like a hooker, I get brought back to the time of my life when I was dressing really provocatively.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the worst things happened to me and as soon as I started dressing more conservative, I'm not saying that, I mean, there's a lot of other factors that tie in. I found a safe space and things like that, but when I started dressing more conservatively, those bad things really lessened.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I still get catcalled and things like that, but I literally almost got kidnapped in an Uber.
Mm-hmm.
I got raped.
Yeah.
Like, so many things happened when I was dressing provocatively, and as soon as...
And I just want to say really quick, like, those things happening to you was not your fault. Like, someone going out of their way to abuse you is not your fault, and you dressing that way isn't, a consent form. It's not asking for it. We're not saying any of that.
No.
But
I'm saying my life got better when I stopped dressing like that.
So once I say that, that's cut and dry.
Yeah.
There's another more primal level that we need to talk about, because this is good people don't fucking do that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're around the right people,
Well, yeah.
not that that's your choice, you know, because who the fuck do you know that you're around when you're in a public space? But
college parties and things like that.
Right.
Was where I was.
No one should be treated that way. Okay, so let me put it this way. Jordan Peterson made a point about how outside of Hindu and like Buddhist temples are naked women, and they're going, well, okay, how come they're depicting women in this way if this is a place of higher worship? And he says, well, it's expected that if you're coming to the place of higher worship, that you have spiritually graduated to the point that you do not see women in this lustful, uncontrollably sexual way, that you can show up there and worship the divine feminine body without being out of control in its presence.
Yeah.
And there is a reality that we live in a world where men are sexually traumatized and women are sexually traumatized and out of control, and we live in a perverted world where pornography is running the show.
Yeah.
And we live around unsafe men, and so not that it was your fault, but we have a responsibility to teach girls that you keep yourself safe by communicating to them that you are not in the role to be fucked with like that.
Yeah.
I am not here to please you, and I'm not here to be looked at in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a fantasy and it's a gaslight that we can dress like this and it's not going to depict these images when these are also the images literally that it depicts. I hope I'm not doing circular reasoning. So we're just, it's not the world that we live in that you can dress that way and it's not going to make people feel a certain way. Because that way of dressing creates those feelings. Mm-hmm. And now we're just pretending that it doesn't. And so you didn't deserve that. None of that was your fault. But also we can feel safer, we can get more respect, and we can take things that happen to us into our own hands by preventatively dressing more modestly. Mm-hmm. And you can still be creative and fun and beautiful and sexy without having your titties out.
Yeah.
You know? You can be sexy and be covering 90% of your body.
Yeah.
There's a way to be extremely sexy doing that.
Yeah.
And I hate to even say
the
sexy,
imagination.
but to have a sexual allure without being sexy.
That's
because
perfect.
To me, sexy is a performance.
Yeah, it is.
And you're performing for an audience, so it's not for you. Okay, that's what I wanted to respond to you about that situation.
And also, with that, what would you say what do you have to say to the whole will raise men to be better. Will
Yeah,
raise your
yes.
boys
Well, yes.
to not do that.
You know what? It starts with not shaming men. It starts with positive reinforcement and showing them how to see women correctly.
Mm-hmm.
It starts with not being able to Google boobs as an 8-year-old boy and be taken to hardcore pornography.
Yeah.
How is it that they know when you're talking about the coronavirus, but they don't know when a child is accessing pornography on the internet? This is breaking men.
Yeah.
This is fucking breaking them.
Yeah.
And we're complicit in it. So let's raise better boys. Let's protect boys. Because when we protect boys, we protect girls.
Mm-hmm.
Because boys who are protected become men.
Yeah.
And men protect women. So, yeah, raise your sons better.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking raise your sons.
Raise your sons better and raise your girls to protect themselves just in case boys aren't getting
Yeah.
the lessons that they need to.
The reason that we have good men is because bad men exist, and that's reality. And when we live in a world where men are weakened, women have to be cautious, and that's reality, and I'm sorry. But you know what? You can also be having a sexual allure, being beautiful, and attracting the right partners without looking like a dumpster hooker. No shame. Sorry, a little shame. I'm sorry. I also don't get this whole, like, oh, hookers are doing empowered work, and it's like, in theory, this could be an empowered job, but the sick world that we live in, this is not an empowered position, and these women are being abused. I would love the, what do you call it? What's a society that's, like, optimal and perfect? It's called utopia. Dystopia. That's where we're at. No,
I knew the utopia was there.
Yeah.
There was something to it.
The utopia is that, yeah, people are mature and sexually healed enough to see that this is a transaction that's okay and mature and necessary for some people, you know, but that's not how this business is run these days because everyone is asleep and everyone's acting out of their shadow and out of their trauma.
Yeah.
And so I'm not saying this like you're so much lower than other people because you're a prostitute. No, you're hurting a lot more than other people. You're in a lot of pain.
Through a lot.
You are going through a lot of pain and trauma, and I don't want you to be there. I want you to be safe. So please act in a way that attracts safety into your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Oh, attracting safety.
Attracting safety.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I have stuff about the attraction, but I have other points, and we'll get back into the attraction note. Okay, so the divine femininity is empowered from the moment of life. It doesn't need high heels and lingerie to be empowered. You can do less and have more.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to put on lingerie and have a photo shoot of your ass cheeks to be an empowered woman. I would argue that actually lessens your power as a woman because it's tailored to boys.
Yeah.
It's asking boys to give you approval.
To look at your body.
Boys are unable to appreciate feminine beauty because they're caught up in fertile, lustful desires. Partly because of how our system is and because of how traumatized they are, and partly because of biology, which is just reality.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, people don't like looking at biology or reality recently. We had this conversation a few days ago, or a week ago at this point, about the idea of the, like, MILF and the hot mom, and, like, needing to have a perfect body after you have babies, and, like, especially, for girls especially who had their children young, who feel like they need to, and then don't have a father in their life either, so this is this very specific crowd.
It's a hard one.
The content that I see a lot of these women posting is like, I'm still partying, I'm still sexy, I'm still fun.
I'm the cool mom. I'm the hot mom.
I'm cool and I'm young looking and I'm still fuckable.
Yes.
Being fuckable.
Yeah.
I hate that. Am I fuckable? A warm hole is fuckable, dude. That's not a very high bar.
Men's standards
are not that high, so you have to create the higher standard.
And that's attracting
Yeah.
not very mature men.
Not mature men.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, okay, so this is a type of woman that exists, right? And we're not putting her down because I think she's been taught tools that don't work. And so she's going out there going like, okay, well, only women who are like fuckable and hot are getting attention on Instagram. So even though I'm a mom, I still want people to think that I'm fun and fuckable and I'm hot. When it's really like, and why are you doing these behaviors? When we break it down to like, what is the reason that you want to be hot for? What is the reason that you want to be fun for? Oh, I want to attract a partner into my life because my son needs a dad. Because my daughter needs to feel safe at night. Because divine masculine presence is that of safety and protection and security and authority. You know? So if that's really what you want, does the man who goes on Instagram and consumes the content of the woman with their ass cheeks out in lingerie, does he make you feel secure, protected, and like he's an authority? Or does that seem like a weak man who has no control over his desire?
The alcoholic who's obsessed with MILFs.
Yeah. Yeah, is that the person you want? So by changing your appearance, which you have control over, to match what you genuinely want without gaslighting people, what do I genuinely want? I want a man that's going to take care of me. You know what? I'm going to look like a woman who deserves to be taken care of.
Yeah. You can be so beautiful.
Yeah. I'm going to be oriented around my kids. I'm going to wipe a little makeup off because I actually am beautiful the way God made me. As I have makeup on my face, I don't want to gaslight you guys because guess what? Like I said, I have an ego, I have a shadow. I don't always feel beautiful the way God made me. I just had a nose job. God didn't make my nose broken, but the devil works hard.
But Kylie works harder. Another thing about the hot mom trend, bringing this back to my mom, part of the reason why I feel like her and I were able to connect the way that we did, why we were so close, why she was the source of divine femininity in my life, was because she didn't care what anybody thought about her.
Yeah.
And she was there to be my mother.
Yes.
It wasn't about her anymore. It was about raising her children.
You were a priority.
I was a priority.
Yeah.
And I was her best friend.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter what even my dad, didn't matter what he thought. She was there with me.
Yeah.
And to this day, she's my best friend.
That's devotional, unconditional love, and that is beautiful. That is attractive.
And that is what your children need.
Yeah.
It is so, like, I don't have words to explain how important that relationship is. Because at the end of the day, no matter what, I know my mom's going to be there and she's going to understand me.
Yeah. Having a relationship with your mom is supposed to be the thing that gives you a sense of self and a feeling of self-worth.
Yeah.
And there's massive mother and father wounds in society right now.
Yeah.
And we need connection. We need relationship. We need love so badly as people, and we're fucking it up.
And what has this pandemic done? It's torn apart the ability to have relationships with people. Stay inside. Don't talk to people. Don't go outside. Don't. And what everybody needs deeply is the connection, the relationships, the love.
This is why having a relationship with you and you being my best friend has healed me.
We're healing each other.
We're healing each other in different ways. We're each other's Liliths. So, Liliths, by the way, that's what I said. Figure it out. Speaking of code. But it's healed me a lot because, like I don't know if it was Teal Swan or if it's something I read on the internet. It's probably Teal Swan.
Probably.
You can't heal relationship trauma by being isolated. You heal it through positive relationships.
That doesn't have to be a romantic relationship.
Yeah, it can be your best friend.
Exactly. A friend. Most, like, people that you come into contact with, it's a relationship, even if it's an acquaintance.
Yeah. So
different kinds of relationships.
But a lot of it starts with healing the relationship with yourself. And so it's a good time right now to examine what are you actually doing? Why are you doing it? Where did that idea come from? Is that authentically your idea, or is that a self-destructive ideology coming out of a very sick, very asleep culture. Having said that, I'm a part of it.
Yeah.
I'm fucking sleepwalking in ways, but I'm trying to come out of this coma. I am
fighting.
I am fighting.
You're fighting in your sleep.
I literally woke up punching the air the other day, so not in victory, I'll tell you that. I wasn't like, whoa. I was like, but I think what we all want is love, and what we all want is a safe relationship.
Basic human needs, too.
Yeah.
That is a basic human need. We are social creatures who need to feel safe and important.
Yeah.
And seen.
Yeah.
And understood.
Yes.
All of it.
Yeah. And
that's what
intimate and close and and not attached but connected.
And that's health.
It's healthy. It's healthy as fuck. Let's see what else I got in here. Going back to sex. So, wearing these clothes that are sexually alluring with the sex appeal that are sexy. I just wanted to say, this is my personal opinion, sexy sex isn't even good. Okay, and I wrote that anytime I've had that type of sex, it was bad because it was fake, because I was performing. That's why pornography is so destructive to sexuality and to relationship, because it's something that is manufactured to look good in a two-dimensional space. We are living in a three-dimensional reality as four-dimensional spiritual creatures.
I also... Sorry.
Go ahead.
I saw a fact the other day, we talked about this. I think it was something around 90% of pornography depicts sexual abuse to women.
Yeah.
Degrading women, hurting women, rape. Things like that.
Yeah.
So...
And it's like, some of those things, not the broad subject of it, elements, flavorings of those things, the aggression and the submission, are natural female and masculine roles. And when you feel safe and you feel connected to someone, that can be really hot and fun.
Yeah.
You have to feel safe first. Safety comes first for women. You cannot genuinely open yourself up and receive without having felt safe. And men, because you're watching pornography and you are being brainwashed to think that sex that looks good to men is what will make good sex for you and your female partner, you are doing a really bad job of making women feel safe or good in any way. And women, we're doing a really bad job of making sure that we get that reality we want, because we're competing with each other and we're going, okay, well, I can't get what I want, but I need connection to a man, and he's so lost that I'll just seduce him in this sleepwalking world, and I'll be as pornographic, and I'll be as hot and as sexy and as slutty and as performative as I can be, more so than other girls, and then I'll get the guy. But that's not the guy that you want, and that's not the experience that you want. It's not safe.
No.
I'm speaking generally. Of course, there are going to be people that are on different wavelengths doing their own thing. There's going to be people
different
that
strokes for
disagree.
different folks.
Different strokes. And you know what? If you feel safe, those strokes are probably going to feel great. But I wanted to say that raw, connected, spontaneous, safe, gross, slow, aggressive sex is good because it's not a performance. And the list goes on and on and on. Whatever is real and authentic feels good. But we have to start with being self-loving and having self-worth, and answering the really hard questions of, is what I'm doing productive for me and for what I genuinely want and for what my society actually needs? Or am I trying to win a game that actually is not a game, it's the entrance to my own fucking jail cell? A little bit. Okay, I have this one little anecdote and then we can kind of we'll just have a natural conversation.
Okay.
Ask yourself, what is it you are asking for when you're playing this game? Who are you attracting to you? Ladies, our society is dealing with a pornography epidemic. It's up to us to stop competing with each other to try to mold ourselves into these sick male delusions over what feminine sex is, because divine femininity is being choked to death. We have to say no and turn our backs on these boys who choose to be Peter Pans forever. Join your sisters in community and stop competing. Your natural beauty will bring you more than sexy ever could.
Natural beauty. That's what, you've talked about it, finding the style that works for your body type.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when you have done that, and you look so great. Your
it's like-
fashion style, and you look feminine and strong.
And I'm trying to project something. I'm trying to project the way I want to be treated. So I'm going to wear high-waisted jeans that accentuate my hips because I'm very thin, so that's the one feminine part of my body, but I'm going to wear a button-up shirt because I'm a business lady, and I'm going to wear nice shoes that make my legs look long because that's something that looks good on my body because I'm a petite person, and I'm going to wear my hair short because I know that looks better with my bone structure, and it's like, you can learn how to be the most attractive version of yourself, in which I'm not saying that I am this right now, I'm literally in my fucking old man sweater.
We're in pajamas.
Yeah,
we're bumming it right now.
We're being safe.
Safe.
Playing it safe. I'm not trying to attract no males into grandma's house.
And also, we're not saying that dressing conservatively is going to save you all the time. Because there is plenty of fucked up people in the world.
Yeah, don't just think... Yeah, that's going back to... It's someone who's gonna attack you is gonna attack you no matter what you're wearing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like...
You're working on building a safer space when you decide to build it for yourself.
When you make the decision that your body is your business, and also that your body doesn't define you.
Yeah.
How hot you look in something does not define you, and it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter how hot your body is. That's a commodity for 45 fucking minutes, honestly. Health should be the priority because there's an objective, like, some things are fucking gross and some things are fucking hot, and it's just, there's an objective level to that, but on a societal level, it doesn't matter if I'm walking down the street, if who I'm walking past is a MILF or a DILF or a hottie or a naughty or whatever, like, however hot your body is, it doesn't matter. Because who are you in the office, and, who are you to the people around you, and how do you treat animals, and how do you treat old people,
That's
and
a big thing.
what's your character? Yeah, how the fuck
character.
would you? What's your character? What is it? Okay, any thoughts?
I'm trying to think.
Yeah. Do we feel better than people? No.
Am I
Better than everyone else?
And we're not.
No.
We're not.
Yeah.
We're just trying to convey what has made us feel safe.
Yeah.
What the feminine needs right now. We need to step into that feminine power.
Yeah.
And the sexy is not feminine power. That is giving more power to the
Dark arts.
the abused, perverted
Yeah.
side of society that has built so strong right now.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It takes a lot of courage to, and we've both had to do this. I'll share personal stories from my life. When I was into this whole feminism thing and this, like, female sexual empowerment thing, which is good. I want females to be as empowered sexually as they possibly can, but that starts with approaching that subject with truth and meeting reality on reality's terms.
And maturity.
And what I approached it as a young girl with was ideology and dogma. And what I'd been brainwashed to think was, you as a woman can sleep with men and not become emotionally attached to them, and you can fuck like a man, and it's safe, and it's fun, and it's good for you. All of those things I found to be really wrong, and then I found that my reason, like, that was just a cover story that I was telling myself for why I was sleeping around.
But you're hurting on the inside.
Yeah, with men who had told me and had no intention of committing to me.
Yeah.
Or caring or giving a fuck about me at all.
We've both been there.
That was a cover story I had for actually just needing validation that my body was okay.
Validation and a body to sleep next to at night.
Yeah. Kind of that. I literally was so insecure about my body that I literally was like, would anybody look at this without throwing up? does this turn anyone on? And I literally just feel, and I have struggled with body dysmorphia. I've never had an eating disorder, or I don't know, nothing that is like threatening my health. I've been very healthy. I've always had a healthy athletic body too, my whole life, but the way that my brain distorts looking at myself in the mirror is like I'm fucking Smeagol. And so I was like, no one's gonna wanna have sex with me. And the way sex is so emphasized in our culture, and it's so obsessed over, because
it feels like a solution.
It feels like a solution.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like it also, because we are dealing with really immature men in the culture, it's everywhere you look, you're being told that this is the most important thing to men. And if men don't want to have sex with you, you have no value. And I already had no self-worth.
Yeah.
And then I was, a skinny girl without big tits or a big ass in a culture of I like me a thick bitch, going like, thinking down the line, like, am I ever going to have a family? Am I ever going to have security? Is there anyone that's ever going to love me? Am I going to die alone because no one wants to fuck me? So these are these core issues I'm carrying around and putting the sign over my face of, I'm an empowered woman who wants to fuck. I'm doing this because I'm good at the game. I'm doing this because I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Guess what? That sex wasn't good.
No, it never is.
It was a gaslight. I was manipulating that person. That person was using me.
We've talked about also when we were having that kind of sex, in that trauma book talks about it too, the switch that comes on, where they're like, wow, you are so crazy in bed, oh my god. Yeah. And it's a performance. It's a performance. And you switch into performance mode because you're like, this is what they like.
Yep. Which
it doesn't feel good to you.
I'm projecting something onto this human being that I'm assuming they like based off of what I've been told by the culture men like, instead of actually taking a moment to slow down, to share a space with an individual, to look them in their eyes and connect to them and ask them, to be vulnerable and ask, what do you like?
Yeah.
Hey, this is what I like. Is this okay for you?
And that's why sex gets so good when you're in relationships, is because you learn how to love each other.
Yeah.
When you're doing one-night stands, you don't...
It's really, I only ever wanted to have one-night stands so I could take my clothes off and they can be like, literally living all of the work just for them to be like, damn. That's all I wanted. Literally, that was all I came here for. I could leave after this. Now I'm like, well, I'm committed to this whole fucking performance I put on, and I'm lying to myself, so I don't want to wake up to this delusion I'm telling myself.
My issue was thinking that I could have one-night stands or hookups and not get attached.
Same.
I would lie to myself.
Yes.
I always lied to myself. And I was miserable.
I couldn't lie for very long. And I wouldn't understand why I was stalking them afterwards.
I still lie to myself. That's stalking.
Sorry, maybe I moved a mile away from you. Sorry. Oops.
What? Oh my god, you live in this city? I didn't even know.
You need to leave. Death to them all.
But, you talked about the oxytocin.
Yeah.
That gets released.
Yeah.
That's what the hookup culture, everybody is going fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And some of them don't even realize it. Some of them do. And they're like, why am I so mentally ill? Why do I feel like this all the time? Why is my life absolute chaos?
Yeah.
And it's like, you're giving parts of yourself to so many different people. Yeah. And you're not taking the time to get to know you, what you need, what you want.
Yeah.
You're forming these half attachments to people where you want to possibly see a future with them, but you don't even know them.
See, and I'm a spiritual person. I believe I have a soul. I believe that there are... Why? I'm not covered in hair. There are other dimensions and that there are more complex things happening and playing out in this, like, electric field that we can't even see. And that we're all one and we're all more connected than we can even imagine.
Yeah.
When I share my body with someone, this is a portal for life. You put your seed in me, and a portal opens up for a soul to come inside out of that seed and be created within my body and enter the world through the portal that is my body.
It's a really good way to put it.
And I let you use your body to create joy and pleasure and peace and relaxation and connection with our bodies, right? And our souls are a part of that. Our souls have the power to create a new soul in this world. Every man that I've slept with, I feel connected to.
Yeah.
I
remember them.
Yes.
Well.
I remember the look in their eyes, like, there is a part of them that is with me always. There's a part of me that feels very ashamed of it too, because I want to release it. I wish, there are some times that I cry. I go on YouTube and I watch, like, Christian conservative girls talk about, like, their life and relationship advice and the families that they're raised in, and I fucking cry wishing someone had told me how to do things traditionally.
Yeah.
Wishing someone had said, boys should take you out on a date if they're gonna sleep with you. You are worth a free meal. Your body is worth at least a free fucking meal.
It's worth more than that.
It's worth so much more, but just I didn't even feel like I was even worth that much. And going like, oh, these girls don't even know. Like, these girls are so protected and I'm happy for them. But I cry going like, I wish I had that protection. And I never want to disrespect myself in that way again.
Feeling like you gave yourself away.
Yes. Well,
but you're still there.
I did, and I did it in a very manipulative way. To get something that I didn't even know I needed, or how I didn't even know how to communicate to get.
A lot of people don't know that they're being manipulative either.
No, most of the time.
Yeah.
We don't.
Unless they're being, malevolent. In
For
some
sure.
way.
For sure. And guys, I feel like they're kind of just going like, sweet, I'm along for the ride.
Sweet.
Like, this is sick, and they don't understand that they're destroying the society.
Women are sensitive.
Yeah.
Women feel everything.
I feel like, and I'm delusional too, I'm crazy, but it's like, as time goes by, I feel less connected to these people. It depends on how long I was sharing my body with them, but it's like, I feel their fucking feelings. To this day. I went through a breakup a month ago. I still feel like I am feeling this person's feelings in my body.
Especially when you step into the space that you shared with them.
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming.
And it hurts. And it's like, choose who you share your body with wisely because you deserve to.
Yeah.
Not because you're bad if you don't make the decision, but because it would be really great for you to make it wisely.
And it sucks to get a little older and have those regrets and that guilt.
Yeah.
And I mean, what happened happened.
Yeah.
And there's no changing that.
Yeah.
But, if it just, I wish someone would have told me the things that we're saying.
Absolutely.
Nobody told me.
And I think so many of our mothers and our parents and stuff are feeling so much shame themselves, feeling so trapped and so powerless to how sick this culture is. I don't know how I would bring sexuality up to a child or a young girl. To my own daughter, because I feel a lot of shame around it. And there are parts of me, if I'm going to expose my shadow in this conversation, is like, I want sexuality to go away. And that's part of why...
That's part of your trauma, though.
That's part of my trauma. That's part of why I want us to be... That's a shadow side of why I would like us to be more conservative, is I want this to go away. Because it's very hard for me to focus on who people are and connecting when it feels like everyone's auditioning for pornography.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty good way to put it.
And also feeling like I could compete pretty fucking good at this, and I'm having discipline and not doing it.
Stepping out of the game and sitting back and watching all the players.
Yeah.
And being like...
It's insecurity. It's all, like, ran by insecurity. And it doesn't mean that your insecurity goes away when you make better choices and you become aware of it. It just means that now you're in a place where you can heal it and you can be there for it instead of letting other people toss it around like a fucking ball.
I have something to say about that, where I'm trying to think of how to word it. I'm just gonna say it.
Okay.
For like the last 6 months, it's been a while.
Yeah.
That I have not been intimate with anyone. I've what is that word? Celibate.
Yeah.
Have done so much more healing than in the last 2 years of having multiple partners.
Yeah.
And it gave me that space to... It was hard at first because I was used to seeking that validation and auditioning for the pornography.
Yeah.
I was used to being in the game.
Yeah.
And when I took the step out, it was really lonely and it was really scary.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to do. But I filled my life with people that genuinely care for me, that love me, that want the best for me. And my circle got smaller, but my love got bigger.
Yes.
And my love for myself.
Yeah.
I've never been more comfortable with myself. Not saying that I'm not insecure, because I'm still insecure.
Same.
But I'm more comfortable with who I am as a person.
Yeah.
And the healing that I've done. I've been able to sit down and read books on trauma and things like, and understand myself and listen to my body.
Yeah.
Because the whole time, it's almost an addiction, where when you step away, you realize, like, I didn't know that I was doing all of that because I felt like I needed the validation from sex.
It is an addiction. And it's also, like, we were told that attention is love. And especially if you're neglected by your father or your mother, attention feels like the closest thing to love that you can get. And this is where, like, going back to the whole pornography discussion, you can try to be this, like, hot, alluring girl and get guys to give you attention, but men are designed for novelty. And so when you're playing that game on that surface level, you're a novelty for a minute and it's great and they're excited about it, but there's a billion other things to look at 24/7 at their fingertips. And I went through a relationship with someone who was addicted to looking at women being scantily clad and sexy and sexually objectifying themselves on the internet, in pornography, and just in accounts of women. And it was like, he didn't understand why I would have the emotional responses that I would have, because it was fucking traumatizing. I remember after seeing, like, some of his likes, calling him on the phone, almost throwing up into my toilet. I'm crying so hard, going like, you don't understand how much it hurts me when you are giving your attention to these other girls and I don't ask any men for their attention. I only go to you for attention. Sexual attention. When I dress modestly, and I didn't have an Instagram at that point, well, I had it for like a bit, I didn't have my own account.
Yes.
I wasn't on there. But to be like, I don't go to anyone else but you for this, and you are getting it from everywhere.
Intimacy is to be shared with you and me.
Right. And it's like, I'm not saying that was my fault, but it's also like, that's more part of this trauma, is like, if we could just fucking chill out with the sexuality for a little bit and the rat race of it, and try to meet people genuinely where they're at, with their hurt, with their realness, with their pain, raw beauty.
Yeah.
You know, and raw beauty doesn't mean you can't enhance your beauty. Raw beauty doesn't mean like you're a wild bush person.
You can wear makeup. You can wear clothes that fit you, tightly or whatever. It's the extreme side of it. That where it gets.
And it's hard because this is a gray area conversation, and we're not telling anyone you specifically can't wear this and you can't specifically. Feel it out, dude. Understand. I feel like the whole point of this is to say, check yourself and check your intentions. When you pick something out from the closet, what is the genuine intention behind what I'm doing? And if you genuinely decide, I want sexual validation today, fuck yeah. You decided that. You decided that. You can be honest with the world. I'm doing this because I would like you to tell me that I'm hot. And then everyone is engaging consensually in a sexual transaction, whether it's to be seen or to be seen. It's still a sexual interaction. It's a microsexual interaction. Go in there openly, confidently, if it's really what you want to do. But if you go, oh, what do I really want? Validation. Am I able to give that to myself without seeking it from the type of men that I actually disdain? Because a lot of these men that you're asking for validation from are the men that you go out into the world and say, these men suck. I hate how they behave. I hate how they look at women. And then you go, well, I guess I'll act like the women they want to look at. Yeah. The women that they love to disrespect. Let me just throw some raw meat out to the dogs. Like,
I've done that for years, too. It's an awful feeling.
It is an awful feeling. It It sucks.
You get those 2 minutes of validation.
Yeah. And you know what? When you're in person, so like I've had this happen a few times where I've been like not worn a bra on a chillier day under my shirt at school in a tight fitting shirt and known like my nipples are gonna be sticking out in that shirt. And it's kind of like hot to think about it, like, oh, I might get some attention. But when you're speaking to a man and he keeps...
It is so embarrassing.
I'm like, oh,
you know what I do?
I want to hide.
I end up doing this.
Yeah, and I stand there like this and I go, I wish I put on a bra today.
Yeah.
Because I don't really feel very free and empowered right now. I kind of feel like a piece of meat, and I kind of feel like you're dangerous because you don't have control. You don't have control over yourself to look me in the eyes. Like
even being careful around family members.
Yeah.
Because I've had that happen where I'm like, well, I'm comfortable and I'm wearing a big sweater.
Yeah.
And I see them looking at my chest and I'm like,
yeah.
And I look down and, you know,
Yeah.
I have to stand like this for the rest of the night because they noticed.
You noticed, yeah.
My mom has always told me, and it sucked, but it's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
When I was like a preteen,
Mm-hmm.
when I was a child, I would wear big t-shirts and underwear and it was fine.
Yeah.
When I started to develop a little bit,
Yeah.
she was like, you have to wear pants around the house.
Yeah.
And I was like, I did not understand. I was like, why?
Yeah.
And she was like, it doesn't matter who it is,
Mm-hmm.
if it's your dad, if it's your brother. She was like, men are men, and men are always going to be men, and you need to cover yourself up for your safety.
And it's like, they don't want to look.
No.
It's not that your mom, your dad, or your brother want to
Going
fuck
back to
you.
biology.
It's biology. If you see a woman-shaped object, you are designed to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether that woman is a 13-year-old girl who's getting hips, yeah, like, that's not the 13-year-old girl's fault, and that's not the guy who's designed to look at its fault. We are animals, and we're spiritual beings having a physical experience, and there are ways to enhance the physical and the spiritual experience here.
Yeah.
And to cherry pick which experiences I'm going to have. I don't want my brother to look at me like that, so I put on a sweater if he comes in the house and I've just been cleaning with no bra on, you know? Because the way I dress that's really for me is comfy as hell, you know?
That's what... She was doing that for safety.
Yeah.
And I appreciate her for that.
Yeah. I don't feel like my mom ever had to tell me to dress modestly, because I immediately censored.
Well,
you know.
We grew up very different.
We did grow up very different. Yeah. Oh man, these are deep subjects. Yeah. We're getting fucking raw. Like, we're raw dogging this mental illness. So, just to say it again, if you're feeling shamed, and I have done anything to make you feel like I'm trying to be superior and shame you, apologize for that. This isn't the intention I have for this. The intention really is to be like, I love you. I love me. Let's be more productive. Let's get what we fucking want, ladies. Do we really want this from immature guys? Is that really what you want? I think if you ask yourself what you really want is a partner and a best friend and a teammate in this world who loves you, protects you, cherishes you for who you are, and sees the sexy but innocent but beautiful but alluring aspects of what you are naturally that don't have to conform to preconceived notions of this like Barbie doll pornography slab of meat that you think you need to conform to. The man that you want and love doesn't want that. And men, do better. Be more disciplined. You don't respect those girls. You know you don't. Because you don't stick around very long. So stop, like, what you feed with your attention, you vote for in reality. So focus your attention, which is really an aspect of love. You know, what you're consciously paying attention to, on the type of women that you do respect, that you do find beautiful, that you do want to see more of. You know, and maybe you do just want to see more of tits and ass, and there's plenty of that out there, but I'm done playing that game, and I think if you guys are ready to have a real conversation, a lot of you probably are done with this game too.
Put the intimacy back in being intimate.
Yes. Yes, Catherine, always there with the conclusion. Is this where we should let this be, or do you have anything else?
I can't think of anything else.
Okay.
I don't know if you flip through your notes and see anything else. I feel like we've talked about everything that we've been talking about for like the past week or so.
Yeah. I want to, you know what? You've been so vulnerable and so open. I want to keep cracking open and be vulnerable with myself. With
Well, that's
people.
who I am too.
I know, you're so real. You're so real.
I'm
It's
not
such a
ashamed
blessing.
of what has happened to me either.
Yeah.
It's me.
I love it.
That's why I am who I am.
I worship you. I want you to know that. You can't see, there's a little altar behind this TV that I haven't told you about.
I like that I can make you want to be more vulnerable too.
You
and
do.
other people too.
You
Because
create a safe space.
It's
And not in like a fake, like, Trump won the election
safe
way.
space.
Yeah. I want to say what I'm going through right now and the insecurity that I'm feeling. I just went through a breakup. And I feel I am fighting so many shadow aspects of myself that want to do a hot fucking photo shoot and get a bunch of attention from men. And also a lot of insecurity that the ex is already fucking other people or whatever, you know, because that's where I got my validation, was being sexually intimate with them and knowing that that would hurt me if they shared themselves with other people.
Yeah.
You know, and going, well, I could share my body on the internet and that would hurt you, you know, and it's like playing that really like childish game that on an energetic level just says, I want to be in the same space as you. So if that means you're hurting and I'm hurting, that at least we feel the same way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That I feel like you hurt me and I want to hurt you so we can feel the same.
It's never ending, just...
Yeah, just wanting to connect to you in any way possible, even if that means doing something really nasty to myself or to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and...
Which I think these are also normal emotions
Right.
and thoughts
Yeah,
after a breakup.
yeah. I'm not acting on them, you
Yes.
know, because I have another aspect of me I would say is a higher, more developed, more loving aspect of me that says,
She steps in.
she steps in and she says, this breakup wasn't your fault and this breakup wasn't that person's fault. And, you know, you get the thoughts of like, they didn't even love me the whole time and they're probably out with someone else already because they've never cared. And it's like, you don't know how people actually feel.
Mm-hmm.
You're not the authority on who actually loves you or not, and that's their business.
Yeah.
And if they are with other people, that's their business.
That's
And
the
actually, if they feel that they have to do that, we can actually feel compassion for them because we know that they are feeling these insecurities that you're feeling. So my insecurity over the breakup that I want male validation and that I want to have 20 dudes in my DMs that I don't, it is the same feeling of, well, you know what, she left me so I'm going to fuck other people because I need that. You know, it's all like this lack mentality thing.
And it's assuming.
It's assuming. It's just a lot of insecurity.
Making scenarios.
Right, so it's pausing for a moment going, instead of acting on these things, what does this really mean? Well, this really means that I am in a lot of pain and I feel really insecure and worthless right now. And where does that actually come from? And it's the parents. And so you do a little inner child work and you go, okay, I'm going to be okay. And there's a reason why the relationship ended.
I still have me.
I still have me too, yeah, and I had me before the relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna be okay, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and also releasing and going like, if they do those things, that's their business,
Yeah.
and I want to still have respect for myself.
Letting go of the control.
Yeah,
Just giving it to the flow of life.
yeah.
Because
Things change.
Yeah.
I don't know, a lot of my relationships have made me feel really insecure, and so it makes me have to go, well, is it the fault of my relationships, or am I just really insecure? And so I go, well, it's me, and that sucks for a second, but then now you have all the power.
Well, it takes two to tango.
It takes you to tango, of course, but also, why give that person any more power?
Yeah.
Why give that person any more power to hurt you? Not that they're doing it on purpose. Only you can give your power away to people and decide what hurts you. But why let them? Why not take all that power for yourself and go, all this insecurity,
What can I work on?
What can I work on? What is mine and what can I do with it?
Yeah,
You know?
that's a good one, yeah.
And that's kind of like, I wanted to share that and be vulnerable and be like, hey, this is hard for me. Because it might be hard for some of you to be like, how much of my fashion choices and my persona that I put online and the way that I approach sexuality and relationship is actually my insecurity and my problem, and how much of it is me giving my power away, where if I owned it, I could create something really fucking awesome and strong out of it. Should we be done there?
Mm-hmm.
Love you guys. Thank you for watching this episode. I hope that this made sense, because I do feel like it's Mercury retrograde and I'm having a very hard time getting my thoughts out there, which I appreciate you.
I try.
Filling in the blanks.
I try.
You do. And being vulnerable, because that is a blessing for people, you know?
That's me.
To see what's actually happening, because so many things are so fucking fake.
Yeah. I can't do the fake.
I can't do the fake. No more counterfeit.
I'll share my life story to a stranger.
Literally.
Yes.
Literally. To my dad.
My dad.
Okay, I love you guys. Subscribe if you like the content. Like the video. If you leave a comment, engaging with my work really helps me to grow and share these ideas with other people. If you think they should be shared with other people, you can also share them. Okay, see you later.